Hey, it's Monday. It's probably about 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're up here in front of the Tha Phae. You can see the hotel up behind us, and it's a beautiful day. It's about somewhere between 28 and 30 degrees Celsius. Beautiful day. A little bit cloudy, and you see the providing a real nice overcast. These ladies just having fun. But anyway, today I checked the bot and it is 36.6, which is pretty good. Hoping it'd be nice if it got up to 37. It'd be real nice. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, I want to thank everyone that has come into the channel, and Lek really enjoyed everybody's comments, and she would be here with me today, but she stayed up all night last night watching football and probably didn't get to bed until about 5 or 6 o'clock this morning. So she's, when I left, she was still sawing logs, so maybe next time. But anyway, she really enjoyed all the comments, and she really had fun. She enjoyed getting out and making the videos, and hopefully she'll make a lot more. But, we'll just have to see how that goes. Who knows? But anyway, we are just north of Tha Phae Gate, and I figured what I'd do today is walk down through Tha Phae Gate, and then there's a little side alley that I may cut down, and boy, they're really getting it on over there. This is the selfie capital of the world. Oh, that's so funny. I love to watch people, but anyway, that's what we'll do, and I've got a story to tell you today that it's pretty interesting. It's well, it has a lot of little different twists to it, and it has some ties to Chiang Mai as well as other parts of Thailand, which is kind of interesting, and it's still it's an old kind of an old case, but it's still got its things going on today with it. So, as we walk along, I'll tell you that story too. It's pretty interesting. I'm going to try to get across the street here. But like I said, we are right in front of Tha Phae. And they have just redone all this, and it looks pretty decent. And a lot of people here, and the traffic right here is basically not because there's a lot of people here. The traffic's because they're doing construction around the outside of the moat, and it's causing traffic jams in just about every location you go to. I am going to try to make it across the street here. I should be using the crosswalk, but I'm not. There we go. A lot of people up here, and you'll see when we get through the Tha Phae Gate that there's quite a few people here, a lot more than there has been in the past. But anyway, the story, we'll get to it, and it's called Lady of the Hills. Back in 2004 in Great Britain, two hikers were hiking in a real desolate area, and they were probably, from what the article says, and I'm basing everything that I'm telling you on several different articles that I've read about this particular situation, and I'm not going to mention any names because there's kids involved in it. I'm not going to show you too many pictures. There's some pictures that I will show, but I'm going to, in the description, I will put the articles in there. You're welcome to read them and form your own opinion. I'm keeping an open mind on it, and we'll just wait and see what happens. But anyway, these hikers are hiking, and they're about two miles from the road, kind of following a creek in a hilly area. And they're taking pictures and, just kind of enjoying themselves, having a good time. And they happen to look and right behind them is a body, and it's actually in their picture, so they didn't realize it. And they go over and look, and you see that it's a body wrapped around some logs in the water at the bottom of the area where they're hiking, where they had stopped to take the pictures. So the police come out. They get the police out there, and I guess the police had a hard time even getting there. And it was a female, and she was pretty well decomposed. And they could tell, the only thing that they could really tell was that she was Asian. And she was partially dressed, deceased. Oh, thank you. And that's pretty much all they really knew. And they recovered the body, and the medical examiner was able to determine that she hadn't been shot and she hadn't been stabbed. But short of that, they had no clue how she had died. They didn't have any missing person reports for anybody that, you know, even came close to fitting the description of this woman. And the final consensus was by the medical examiner as they didn't suspect foul play, and they thought maybe hypothermia or something like that. So they basically pretty much gave up on it, and the community there paid for her funeral and had her buried, and they placed a gravestone there that and just listed her as Lady of the Hills, and rest in peace. And they kind of left it at that. They checked around, and they could determine that she had been in the area for a while because the particular clothes that she was wearing had been bought, you know, in Great Britain. They said she had a wedding ring on, and it had been made of Thai gold, but they still had no inclination of where in Southeast Asia maybe she was from, or what, whether she was, you know, Filipino, whether she was Thai, Cambodian, Vietnamese, Filipino. They were kind of leaning towards Philippines, and they could tell that she had had children, and that she had when she was younger, she had a disease that kind of stunted her growth. I'm going to try to get away from that music. Well, maybe that wouldn't be too bad. I love that girl's hat. She has really got some style going there. Yeah, we'll walk down this way a little bit. So, with that, we'll walk down here and then turn around and walk back out through the gate. Support refugees. Global school. Design your own bag. Huh. Korea, Thailand diplomatic relations. Oh, pretty cool. Anyway, we're going to walk back here. I'm going to walk back through the gate, and we'll find an area to walk in. And I'll continue telling the story.
in Hong Kong?
Yes.
I think I saw your video on YouTube.
Oh, you're on YouTube now. Is it okay?
Yes, okay.
You'll be on the channel. You can say hello.
Hello, yeah. Yeah, I see you sometimes. You make movies around the city.
Yeah. Just meeting a subscriber out here, and you're from Norway, right? How long have you been here?
This time, 5 weeks.
5 weeks. You having a good time?
Yeah.
Great. Enjoy your time. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care. Ah, that's good. But anyway, back to the story. So basically, she's buried there, and the case is pretty much, turns into a cold case. They can't get any leads on it. They can't figure out who she is. And she's just down as a kind of like a, what we would do in the United States is classify her as a Jane Doe. And, the good thing was the community got together and gave her a decent burial. Well, back in 2004, if we think correctly, we're thinking in times right now where we have all this social media and all ways of getting in touch with people. We'll get across the road here. I think I'll walk that way. But back in 2004, we didn't have that. I can remember, in 2004, I believe I was still using the dial-up, and I definitely know that I wasn't using Facebook. So, social media wasn't that big of a thing. But in 2019, the case was picked up again by a cold case squad, which is something that a lot of agencies are doing now. Back with the new technology comes out, they are pulling some of these old cases back out and re-examine them where they hadn't had any luck finding a suspect, or in situations where they feel like, there may have been a mistake. They might have got the wrong guy. And a lot of people have been let out of prison, which is I feel like is a good thing.
But sometimes I need to stay home.
Sometimes it's to convict a person wrongfully. It's just wrong. But anyway, the cold case squad picked up this file, and they started reading it and going through it. Well, there was a composite that was done back in 2004, and they put the composite on Facebook, and I'm okay, thank you.
Where you go?
I'm just walking. Yeah, you're on YouTube now.
You do?
Yeah. You drive all around?
Yeah.
How much do you charge to go from here to Doi Satep?
How many people? One?
Just say one person.
Okay, I check your space.
How much? Tarai?
600 baht. 300 baht go.
300 baht back. Okay, well, I'll just tell I've already been. I live here.
You live here?
I live here. Yeah.
I know. YouTube.
Yep. 13 years. 13 years. If you need a truck driver,
Yeah.
you always here?
Yeah.
He's right here, just down from Tha Phae Gate, parked right here.
Yeah.
Come see this guy.
Yeah.
Take care, buddy.
Yeah, parking here. Every day.
Good. There you go. There's your ride up the mountains. That 300 baht up and back is not bad. And plus, he'll sit there and wait for you. But anyway, they put her on Facebook, and they put it out in several different languages. And I've actually found it where they put it there, so I'll include that in the picture that you'll see here in a minute. Hoping that somebody would identify this lady. Wow, they're doing something in there. Well, after a few months, sure enough, a Thai woman living in the UK happens to pick up on it. She sees it, And she says, that looks like one of my nieces. 1 or 2 times removed, you know, it's kind of hard to say. Let's, I wonder if we want to walk down Soy 3 there. Yeah, maybe we will. Let him get his picture there. Hello. Yeah, we'll go this way. There is another one. Well, actually, the one further down is a little bit more interesting. I've walked it before. But anyway, she gets hold of the agency working it, and she tells them about it. And they're able to get a DNA sample of the parents of the person that they think this might be, because these two people, and they were living in, I believe, Yudon or somewhere in away from Chiang Mai, but they had a daughter, and that they hadn't heard from since 2004. And that is about the same time that Lady of the Hills was found. So they get a DNA sample, and they test the DNA, and sure enough, they get a match. And there's absolutely no doubt that this is their daughter. And this is about 2019, just about the time that that COVID hits. So everything is pretty much at a standstill as far as travel or, you know, investigating or doing anything about it. But they make contact with the parents, and it turns out that back in the early 90s, she was about in her 30s, and the age matched too. Yeah, we're gonna walk down here. She was living in Chiang Mai, and she meets a man, an Englishman, who's a school teacher. And they fall in love and get married, and then they move to the UK. And she already has one child that she had with another husband, and the three of them moved to the UK. And during that course of time, she has 2 more children. She has a boy and a girl. And things are going great, you know. They're doing real well, and she doesn't have any problems. You know, she's keeping in touch with her parents, and apparently somebody in the village has a phone, and she's able to call, and she's able to write and stuff. And it gets, you know, then apparently she has some problems having children, and she has a couple of miscarriages, and she gets sick, and she loses her job. And they run into financial trouble and end up having to move in with his parents. And I'm not, you know, it's really unclear exactly what years these are, how close they are to the 2004. The articles don't say, and really there's not a lot of documentation on it. But anyway, they say that around 2003 she comes back to Thailand, and she's kind of distraught and just not real happy with the way things are going. But then her kids call, and she travels back to Thailand, because her kids are still in the Wow, look at this place. Her kids are still in the UK. This is neat. This is probably for rent. You can't see in there, but it'd be neat to explore that. But we're going to keep walking. I'll keep talking too. But she comes back. And they say at about, and this is all according to her parents, they say in 2004 they get a phone call from her, and she's very unhappy. She wants to come home. She doesn't have any money, and she's afraid that she's going to have a problem getting her kids to come with her for whatever reason. Hello. And that was the last they heard from her. They never got any messages from her. They never heard from her. The writing letters that she had stopped, and she had no contact with they had no contact with him. He wasn't talking to them. They basically knew nothing. They had spent $10,000 that they had saved up to rebuild their house, and paid for a private investigator to look into it. And apparently, he ripped them off. And they had basically gone from 2004 to 2019, not knowing where their daughter was. But anyway, the cops, they're wanting to talk to him. And it turns out that some point in time, and again, the articles don't say, oh yeah, and here's another thing that I didn't mention that I should have. They say that in 2016, her son comes to visit them, and he's getting ready to marry a Chinese woman, and he wants his mother to come to the wedding. And basically what the kid tells the parents are that the father had told them that she had run off with a lover and left him, and he had no idea where she was, or had no clue as to what the outcome was, or where she was, or anything like that. I think we will walk up to the right, see where this takes us. I know where it goes. Hello. But that's what the understanding that the kids were. Now, they have never heard from the son after that. They said that he broke down in tears and left, and they've never heard another word from him. But they felt that it was odd that the husband never contacted him. Well, he had never reported her missing either, which is not unusual. When you think about it, if he actually thought that she had run off, he would not necessarily report her missing. Now, to me, as an investigator, that would make me lean more towards thinking that, he actually believed that. But, who knows? It's hard to say. But anyway, the news media contacts him. Apparently, according to the articles that I'm reading, like I said, everything is according to the articles. Let's see if we can walk down this way, see where we end up. They contacted him. He adamantly says that he had absolutely nothing to do with her disappearance or her demise, and was more than willing to talk to law enforcement about it. Hello. Hello. Well, but back in 2019, nobody was traveling, so they couldn't come. And, but like I said, there's no correlation as to what time he left Britain with the 3 kids and came to Thailand. There's no indication of it in the, okay, sorry about that. We just had a battery overheat and I had to change batteries, and we'll continue with the story. But there's no indication of the time frames, which is kind of makes it difficult to reach any kind of conclusion. And even so, there's no evidence at all to support a homicide. You know, who knows? Now, let's fast forward to 2023. The UK cops team up with the DSI, which is the elite Thai police here in Thailand, and they go to interview the parents, and I think a lot of what you're hearing from me is probably from out of that interview. I think we will walk and go. Yeah, we'll definitely go left because you can't get through. Cody Guest House, that's where we're at. I know where this is going to come out. I really didn't want to walk this way, but we'll do it anyway. For those of you who haven't seen it before, I think we'll go straight here. I usually go right, but we'll go straight. But anyway, they come over and they talk to the grandparents, or the parents and the grandparents of these kids, and they apparently make contact with him and set up an interview. And they want to talk to him, and he's willing to talk. He says, "Yeah, no problem. I'm more than happy to discuss it, the matter with you." And the appointment was set up. Well, comes the day of the appointment. He calls in and says he's sick. He's not coming. And that was the last they heard of it. And the UK cops went back to the UK, and I keep moving so I don't upset that dog. I don't think I may have walked this alley, I don't know. This is going to be hard to map. Also, I may quit with the stop with the little walking man. What do y'all think? Is it something I need to keep doing, or would you rather just kind of try to figure out where I'm at? Oh, let's see. We're going to go through here and go to the right. Humas Chiang Mai. I did a video there once. But, so he doesn't show up. But the thing about it is that, and he's still here in Thailand. I understand that one of the kids is living in Ireland and the other one is in China. And then the daughter is still here in Thailand with him. But he's still here. The way according to the article, the way the law is set up, the Thai police could prosecute it here and investigate it here and actually prosecute it here. Same like in the United States. If a United States citizen gets killed abroad, they can prosecute it in the United States. So, who knows what's going to happen. Now, they do have very good food here. It's all vegetarian. We'll walk out this way. Just because he didn't show up doesn't mean guilty. Now, is he guilty? I don't know. I'm not going to say he is. I'm not going to say he isn't. But the fact of the things that he did or didn't do don't prove him guilty. I mean, everybody's a suspect always. And I'll give you, for instance, I had a case back in the States that I really wasn't involved with in the beginning. It was an old murder case. And they prosecuted the boyfriend. They took him to trial. And I was in on some of the discussions and some of the things that they were doing. We'll walk this way. And I could not be 100% sure that he was guilty. It just didn't, the elements were there. There were certain things that he did that you would think, oh yeah, this guy did it. But then there were other things that just didn't add up to make him a suspect. And when I took over as captain of detectives, it was one of the cases that I looked at. And I read the case, and there were things that I needed to know, even though he was not a suspect in my mind. I mean, I had pretty much ruled him out. There were just things that I read that said this guy didn't do it. You know. So I went to his attorney, and I sat down with his attorney and talked to his attorney, and his attorney and I were good friends. I was, my word was always good with the attorneys. If I said something, I would always stick to it, and they knew it. And I told the attorney, I said, I want to talk to him. I said, he's not a suspect in my eyes, but there are certain things that he knows that I need to find out. And one of them was, if either one of them has smoked. There was a cigarette butt found in the room, but nowhere in the file, or nobody that I talked to, knew whether the boyfriend or the victim smoked. And I mean, that was a key piece of evidence there. If they didn't smoke, then that cigarette butt needed to, needed re-examination. And it had never been done. At the time, the DNA was not there to make the determination. But anyway, I talked to his attorney, and I told him, I said, I need to talk to him. There's certain things that I want to know. And he's not a suspect. I'm not going to incriminate. I'm not even going to read him his rights. But you know what? He wouldn't come in. He refused to talk to me. And the reason he refused to talk to me was because he'd been run through the ringer. I mean, he had gone through a whole trial, and they didn't find him not guilty, but they hung the jury. And the district attorney at that time, and I respected his opinion because he was right. He basically stated that he was not going to prosecute the case again unless substantial evidence, new evidence came forward that showed him as being a suspect. So, not being interviewed, not wanting to be interviewed doesn't necessarily mean you're guilty of a crime. So in this one, I'm keeping an open mind. I'm not going to say he did. I'm not going to say he didn't. But the evidence isn't there to prove that he is. And to be perfectly honest with you, unless he confesses, I don't think they've got pretty, a very good chance of ever solving it. Like I said, if he did it. Now, if it's a case of somebody else doing it, and here's the situation. She could have ran off with somebody else. They could have been out there hiking, and somebody else killed her. It's possible. The fact that she had her wedding ring on, that's another story. That kind of puts a little iffy there, but who knows? And there was a question who had a four-wheel drive vehicle, because they determined that the person that she did not die where they found her. She had been washed downstream through this stream, probably about 2 kilometers. They think from where where the road is up there. And in order to get on that road, you had to have a four-wheel drive vehicle. So who knows? But that's the story. And you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens, and I will do a follow-up on it if anything ever develops on it that comes out. And now there have been some questions about the two kids on the motorcycle that were seen taking the helmets. Nothing has developed from that. We've not heard another word. Nothing. The kid that did the stabbing up here, nothing. Not another word from the media about anything that's happened. And that's how it works up here. You know, sometimes you hear it, sometimes you don't. And I mean, I've searched the internet looking for any kind of a clue, and there's nothing there. So who knows? But that's the way it is here. The news media, and the news media was kind of like that in the U.S. too. They'd suck the good stuff out of the story and then just kind of let it go and never report another thing. But anyway, I hope you all have enjoyed this story and enjoyed this little walk. It's kind of interesting, you know, the places that we went to, and it was nice meeting a subscriber. Thanks for stopping me. And like I said, I don't mind, you know, if you see me out walking, stop me, say hello. You know, I really appreciate that. But anyway, y'all have a good day, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.